We've gone again. There's my cock out there. Me, Roy Orbison's autistic niece. Practicing my stand-up set. This is how I go about it, people. You walk in there, you've got a bunch of drunk morons. Those are the comedians, and then the sort of more enlightened people, those are the audience. And I would say hello. Usually I like to be quite innovative with my introductions. And I just say it's great to be here. Took me a long time to get here. It's a small crowd. Small but perfectly formed, a bit like my ex-wife's penis. What a honeymoon night that was. Still can't get the taste out of my mouth, but it is a true pleasure to be here. Why do I consistently forget my set, even though I've done it loads of times? I don't know. You're watching everything in action. You're watching my synapses misfire constantly. It's difficult to introduce you. You know, Freddie Mercury knew how to introduce a show, you know. Are you ready to rock and roll? I wrote this next song in 1976. It's called Why Has No One Guessed I'm Homosexual? He knew what he was doing. Fred. Yeah. I don't know. The thing is doing this with audiences, you get them from everywhere. You have to cater to different tastes. Like American audiences, you have to be careful what you say. Or else it's, excuse me, sir, did you just say the C word out loud on stage? Did you hear that, Tiffany? Am I going crazy? Did you just say that? You're like, sorry. You have to understand. We use the C word all the time. Right? I mean, Scotland, where I'm from, that's used as a term of affection. How you doing, you wee fucking cunt? Not bad, mum. How are you? I am actually from a sleepy resort town on the Scottish Riviera, known as Glasgow, which is murder capital of Europe last year. We did it. It's also got some of the worst slums in Europe. Not that my family lived in the slums, of course. We were on the waiting list for the slums. I went to school with some pretty rough characters. I'll never forget this one particular chap. Alco was his name, and his profession. It was his real name, Alco. It wasn't his real name, it was his nickname. Well, this guy, for some obscure reason, decided to bury a cat up to its neck in the ground, get a golf club, and he totally overshot the green as well. I mean, if you're going to do something, do it right, I say. But it was rough. Really rough. I'm so glad. But at some point, you might start wondering why my Scottish accent sounds like a cross between Shrek and Mel Gibson. And that is because I spent a lot of my life living in Canada until I was deported for being slightly interesting. I mean, I like Canada, but unfortunately, it's very similar to Scotland. It's got an inferiority complex because it's right next to much bigger, successful countries, next to America. And Scotland is near France. Now, some English people might feel a bit of resentment from that statement. Let's face it, there's a hell of a lot of resentment from the English towards the Scottish, which is really hurtful, if I'm honest, because the Scottish have nothing but warmth and affection for English people. What I think it all derives from is basically when it comes down to it, English people blame Scottish people for introducing red pubic hair into their gene pool. And I don't get it, because I love red hair. I lost my virginity with a redhead. I'll never forget it. Backstage after that Ed Sheeran concert, he loved the shape of me, I tell you. Yeah. But we are an ugly race, the Scots. Don't let me fool you. I mean, we're not even fucking pasty. Look at that. That's fluorescent. Two things visible from fucking space. The Great Wall of China and people from Dundee on a beach. That's why there's no such thing as Scottish pornography. The lenses can't take the glare. Don't get me wrong, though. I love Scotland, as all Scottish people do. Scotland's a bit like Gwyneth Paltrow. People say they love it, but they just can't wait to leave. Yeah. For example, 200 years ago, a whole bunch of Scottish people moved over to America, where they upgraded themselves to become hillbillies. Because that's what Scottish people are. And, you know, Scottish and Irish people, that's what hillbillies are. Scottish and Irish people, after 200 years of subtropical heat, homemade alcohol and incest. You know? Meet my wife. She's my sister. That kind of thing. But America is an interesting place. I mean, I love American elections. It's sort of like a woman who keeps choosing her own boyfriend all the fucking time. You know what I mean? Well, I went out with this guy called Ronald, but he was too old for me. And then I went out with this guy called Bill who kept cheating on me. And then I went out with this guy called George who had learning difficulties, I think, actually. And then I had my first black boyfriend. He was pretty much the same as all the rest of them, but I couldn't even criticize him because he was... and then I just fallen for this wacky guy called Donald after he grabbed my vagina and peed on me. What was I saying? Britain is, you know, we got our choice order. The thing is, in Britain is like, it'd be nice. Everybody in Britain, all the politicians, most of them went to private school. You know, it'd be nice to have like a working class prime minister. You know, some cockney geezer going in the Houses of Parliament. Right, you slags, Mr. Speaker, I'm fucking watching you, you fucking cunt. No, it'd be nice. Put a bit of grit in the oil, whatever that phrase is. But I'm surprisingly single at the moment. I don't know why I'm surprised. Let's face it, relationships are a complete and utter waste of time that turn your life into a pile of dog shit. It was not the message I was hoping to get in my Valentine's card. Yeah, it was written in crayon as well. Just never date a dock worker, is what I'm trying to say to you. It's not going to work out, you know. Met her on one of these dating websites. I mean, I was spending so much time on these websites, my browser got chlamydia. But things are not working. I mean, I struggle with intimacy. You know, I think it goes back to my teenage years when I was systematically and repeatedly sexually abused. I mean, it was by me, but still. And I don't want you to think that I'm in any way denigrating the act of masturbation. I mean, it's cheap, it's fun, it gets me out of the house. You may have seen me in what put on. But it's no substitute for being in love. And to be honest, I haven't really been in love for ages. And it's the little things I miss. Waking up next to someone that cares for you, is going to offer you a shoulder to cry on when you're down. And yeah, I miss the sex too, but I just can't see myself going back to being an altar boy again. You know, I've moved on. And that's not pedophilia is a fucking horrible thing. And I think we should get rid of it one way. You make it illegal to have any sexual relations with anyone who's over the age of 65. It's like drugs. You make something taboo, people automatically want to do it. They bring in that law, within hours, you're going to have gangs of shifty young men hanging around outside bingo halls, yeah? Approaching old ladies, using bags of Werther's Originals as bait. You know, want to come out to my place, watch an Inspector Morse DVD? It's like a video. It's running. They're not too hot in the technology, but now this isn't just a gimmick. These actually, I have terrible eyes. I mean, I usually wear contact lenses, but they're uncomfortable as hell. It's my fault. They're secondhand. One of the few benefits of working in a morgue. But I didn't have contact lenses when I was young. You know, I had big, thick glasses that magnified my eyes. One of which was lazy. So lazy I can't be bothered to tell you which one it was. And I was supposed to wear an eye patch, but my parents were Scottish, therefore wanted to economize. And so instead they just maybe used folded up toilet paper. Huh? So yeah, they called me the Fiesta Pirate. What do you call it? The Andrex Pirate at school. Yeah. It was good times back then, you know, walking around with my big thick glasses, my lazy eye, my folded up toilet paper, too frightened to look at the sun, you know, in case the paper burst into flames. It wasn't a good look. I mean, the local sex offender didn't know whether to molest me or take me under his wing as an apprentice. But I just wish I could have reassured my younger self. Don't worry, little fella. One day, you work hard, you'll be standing in front of a closet, small cubicle. What is that called? A cupboard. It's a cupboard. This thing that the laptop is in. It's not floating. It's not actually levitating. I may have the glasses of a psychic or a psychopath, but I don't actually have the powers to. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, getting paid in nectar points. Performing in front of, I don't know, some kind of deranged functioning alcoholics are actually watching this at this point. And that's it. That's my set that I'm going to do tomorrow. I still can't remember it. Can you believe that? I'll improvise some stuff at other times. I can't. Yeah, I got to practice.